20 seconds to go here, and Westbrook have made it, so that's the big news, hot off the press. The last we saw of Westbrook there was that they were in the launch zone with a problem. Let's hope that problem doesn't come back to haunt them. The 10-second countdown then is underway.
Team Rafa on the inside line currently. This is the race before the race. Have they timed it well? 2 seconds, 1 second. I think they've all legally done it, but it is Team Westbrook actually. They've had a flying start into that first turn, Greg.
Well, can you believe it? Almost kept everyone waiting, but like you say, that is a great getaway. Rafa, be careful with the smart mark.
All sorts of bother there.
Oh, I thought there was going to be contact, and look, Aoki are wide on the outside. Oh, they were so fortunate to get through there without a major incident, but they're all over the place. What's the order? Do Rafa still have the lead? Yes, they do. Drogba second, Aoki third. Westbrook came shooting her, and Aoki now. Danny Kloss has gone up alongside Oban Duncan in that fight for second and third positions, and he is ahead.
Danny Kloss doing well as well, utilising that boost on the straight to get themselves in a little bit of clean water. Again, using it now out of the corner to try and catch up with Tom Chap in Team Rafa ahead. This is what they do. They use all of the tools they have at their disposal to work and get into good positions.
Remember, Rafa are the nearest challengers to Aoki in this championship. They were separated by, what, just 16 points coming into the weekend. It's 14 points now because Rafa got the qualifying 2 points there, and Rafa with a good advantage. Now, this is the first time we might see short or long laps taken.
Surely this is a good time to do short laps. So much clean air in front, and yes, Team Rafa going into the short lap, followed by Team Aoki as well. Both of them taking the advantage of the time gained in that short lap and coming out into the same water they went into, and not, crucially, Greg, coming out behind other pilots.
Yeah, exactly, because if Danny Kloss had carried on and done the standard lap there was every chance somebody behind him could have done the short lap, and like you say, he would have then been in their wake, and it really would have wrecked any chances of catching the Frenchman Tom Chap, who's up in the lead. So, you've seen the championship fight playing out on the water before your very eyes here. Rafa coming towards us, looking into the eyes then of the ever-focused Frenchman, and look at that, he knows what a responsibility this is with all of the team. Rafa Nadal will be watching on back home in Mallorca, and of course Chris Lazaraga, his teammate, watching on here in the launch zone. She will be out next, but where are they going to be when they get to the finals? Westbrook in the background doing their long lap.
I was wondering if this was going to happen, because really Westbrook will now come out into clear water. They won't have any weight to contend with, so this is really good use to make up from the time and the positions that they lost earlier in the race.
Yeah, and clearly the panic, if there was any for Lucas Ordinetha, that problem has gone away. They did an excellent job. Hats off to everybody at Westbrook, actually, in terms of the mechanics and the team there to get that boat sorted out, and it could have been so easy to get distracted there. Okay, Rafa, when are we going to see a long lap? Do you reckon Danny Kloss will just follow Rafa and follow Tom Chap around the long lap, or might he stay out a little bit longer to disturb Tom? Because if Tom goes around the long lap first and Danny doesn't, then all of a sudden Rafa will be in the wake, won't they?
It's a balance, isn't it? Because if they believe that they've got the setup and the balance to just keep good speed, and they think that they can almost do an undercut and do the long lap later and get rid of the time difference in between, then they might want to opt to do that. And neither of them have gone into it for now. Let's see what Oban Duncan and Team Drogba do. You know, also doing a normal lap. Team Westbrook have done their long lap, and now it's just Eric Stark, Team Miami. They still have to do their long lap. Maybe they can see that do that now.
Yeah, Westbrook, the red race bird, the red boat in fourth place, the only boat, the only team to have done their long lap so far. You can see Miami there at the top of your screen, and they're now going around the long lap, delineated, look, by the green smart marks. They're called smart marks because they're not actually anchored to the lake bed here, so as to avoid damaging the lake bed or the seabed when we go to sea destinations. But this is actually the first fresh water round of the season following the previous events we've already had in Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Croatia.
The Rafa team spotters got their work cut out for them now, just trying to judge the timing, the lead that Tom Chap has over Danny Kloss, because if he takes that long lap and there isn't enough time behind, Danny Kloss will sneak in front. So really it's about calling that when there is a big enough time buffer, which at the moment I think is touch and go.
Okay, well, Rafa's not done it. Look, they're going around the standard coloured red markers on the standard course. We're now looking to Aoki at the top of your screen. We've got our track map here, and I can tell you they haven't done it either. Look, we look down, perfectly demonstrated then. Drogba are third. They're yet to do a long lap, and Ordonez in fourth place have done the long lap. So I reckon Westbrook are going to jump in front here. I think Lucas Ordonez might jump in front of Oban Duncan. That's going to be extremely tight. There's Drogba's long lap, and you've got Oban Duncan in the vicinity down there as well. So yes, as I thought, Westbrook have blasted ahead, and they've already done their short laps as well. So long laps and short laps done. So that's a net change for position there. Westbrook are up into third.
maybe too much ground to make up for Eric Stark and Team Miami, but there is still the short lap to go, so whatever gap there is currently, it's 12 seconds. Half of that will come back with the 6-second gain you get for doing the short lap.
This is the penultimate lap of the race, and we have the two leaders separated by 11 seconds or so, but that can change so quickly. It is so easy to lose a chunk of time. Are we going to see the long lap this time? No, we are not. So, will Danny Kloss do the same, or will he not? He'll be monitoring the gap back to Lucas as well in third place. Now, let's have a look at Danny Kloss. I'm looking at the track map. I can see him there at the top of your screen as well. The pink marks, we're on board with him now. And sure enough, as we ride on board, we are now navigating our way around the long lap area at the top of the course.
And Tom Japp now has to push and try and maximise time in this lap, knowing that he's going to have to do that long lap on the final lap and hope to not come out near Team Aoki. Team Aoki now doing that long lap, nothing left to do, going to try and bridge that gap.
This is the final lap. Whoever wins this race is through to the final. They will have lane 2 of the final, as this is the last group stage section. Down into turn 1, you're looking at the leading boat, owned by Rafa Nadal, the tennis superstar, and it's Tom Japp, the Frenchman, at the helm. He needs to do one more long lap, though. He should be okay. You lose approximately 10 or 11 seconds doing that long lap, and his current lead is 21, as you can see at the top of the screen, so he should be fine. If he gets it wrong, though, Danny Kloss and Aoki will be all over them when they come through the merge zone. Yeah, he looks confident enough, doesn't he?
Looking at the timing as well, you know, faster in pretty much every sector so far, Team Rafa and Tom Japp, so I think they've done enough to keep the lead. They've really done well on those last 2 laps, pushing to make that gap as big as possible to avoid the chance of Team Aoki getting the better of them on the rejoin.
There's Miami doing their short lap, and that's going to be quite close, isn't it, to Drogba? That's even closer than we expected, and Miami have got the boost on now as well, closing right in on Drogba, and this is crucial because whoever's last in this race will go through to the place race. I hate to use the word last, but it depends on the different groups, because sometimes there's 4, sometimes there are 5 crews in each of these group races. But look at this, Rafa, they're second in the championship, and this is looking brilliant as they now confirm their position in the final here. Danny Kloss did his best, and it's a great second place, but Tom Japp comes through, and they are guaranteed to move through to the final. Now, how close are Miami to 4-place Drogba towards the rear end of this race? There's Danny Kloss in second place, and no, it's too much. Westbrook did well there to recover from whatever that technical problem was before the start. They're third. Oban Duncan is 4th, and unfortunately for Miami and Eric Stark on this occasion, they will be going into the place race. They will not go into the final.
That's the second time that Rafa are able to get themselves into the final so far this season. So the way that lines up, that they will be now having lane 2 in that final, and it will be actually Team Aoki that will have lane 1 in the race-off. That makes sense, yes.
Yes, so they're not straight through to the final line, but like you say, at least they've got the best position in the race-off. And incidentally, it's the first time this year that Aoki will need to go into the race-off. Prior to that, they'd always gone straight through to the finals. That's new for them.